a mysterious boy band appears. With just one blow, he destroyed Lu Xing's physical body. Just now, when Lu Xing instantly killed Red Pupil, he also crippled the moon behind him. He used a little too much power. Didn't they say he was a level 10 expert, 10 times stronger than EG? Why is he so fragile? Before Lu Xing received the inheritance, while still at level 8, he could fight on par with the level 10 Lanche. Now, he can easily kill a level 10 with one punch. Indeed, it wasn't that Red Pupil was too weak, it was that he was too strong. Looking at the crumbling moon, Lu Xing was filled with self-blame. Well, it's my mess. Saying this, he attempted to repair it. After some effort, Lu Xing retracted his energy. Looking at the moon, now patched up like a soccer ball, Lu Xing was very satisfied. Just then, Lu Xing sensed a powerful force flying towards him. He was quickly engulfed in the explosion from this force. It turned out this power came from a level 11 ship. The woman in the group, seeing Red Pupil dead, began to activate the ship, intending to kill Lu Xing. This ship's maximum output reached level 11. She refused to believe it couldn't kill this kid. As the smoke cleared, Lu Xing's sturdy body was revealed. Although he wasn't turned to dust, the woman believed that taking such a direct hit must have surely killed him. And indeed, Lu Xing's left side was completely destroyed. The woman was secretly delighted. Ha ha ha, serves you right. Go and accompany the boss in death, kid. However, in the next second, Lu Xing's body was rapidly repairing itself. New flesh began to grow on the bones of his left hand. The regenerative ability of his transcendent cells was truly monstrous. This scene scared the woman so much she almost wet herself. 2.5 seconds later, Lu Xing was fully repaired. The only thing that remained strong was his pair of pants, impervious to blades and fire. Soon, Lu Xing once again pulled an 82 vintage shirt out of his pants. The woman was so scared she wet herself again. This person was clearly level 9. Why was he not dead after being hit by such a powerful attack? It turned out that Lu Xing had sensed the ship's attack a second before it was launched, but he didn't feel it was a major threat, so he deliberately let his guard down to take the full blow, wanting to test the strength of his supreme stellar body. The result, however, was not satisfactory. The woman, still not believing it, intended to strike again. Seeing the attack coming, Lu Xing waved his hand to counter it. This time, Lu Xing didn't want to be hit by that thing again. He threw a punch, splitting the attack in two. The powerful level 11 attack was thus neutralized by his punch. The woman knelt on the ground, having a third breakdown and wetting herself. She couldn't believe Lu Xing could counter a starry sky weapon with his bare hands. The image of him shattering a level 11 annihilation cannon with one punch was 100 times more shocking than him killing Red Pupil. Just then, Lu Xing's eyes turned cold as he looked at the woman. The next second, she bled from all 7 orifices and died on the spot. Lu Xing quickly teleported into the ship and took a spatial ring from her body. The spoils of this battle were about double that of the last 2 people. She was a frugal woman. So this is a high-level spaceship? Not bad. This time, he harvested over 11,800 tons of energy crystals, with black crystals making up a third of it. You can really create wealth with your own 2 hands. So what if I'm from a low-level civilization? Even a poor kid from a low-level civilization can live a good life as long as he works hard and diligently. Now is the time to contact Lanche. Thanks to him, these people are clearly starry sky pirates. As a guider, Lanche is supposed to collect protection fees every 10 years. Logically, he should also be responsible for protecting the underlying planets from harm. I went through so much trouble to solve his problem. He should at least give me some reward. Just then, the ship's alarms blared wildly. Warning! The ship has been locked on by an unknown energy source. The next moment, a super powerful energy blast instantly destroyed the ship. Lu Xing was instantly blasted into a skeleton. I just recovered and you pull this on me again? Soon, a figure appeared ahead, startling Lu Xing. The masked man at the head of the group ordered his subordinates to lock down this star region. All members of the Red Pupil pirate gang are to be killed without exception. As they were scavenging the wreckage of the ship, the skeleton that was Lu Xing was rapidly regenerating. At this moment, Lu Xing was incredibly furious. I worked so hard, diligently getting rich, and finally got a complete, high-level spaceship as a prize. These people, don't they know this ship is mine now? Don't they know how much sweat and effort I put in for the ship? Don't they know I'm trying to save up to buy a life planet? He roared at the man in the lead. Hey, you must compensate me. The man, seeing a living person ahead, immediately used his eyepiece to scan him. To his surprise, the person's starry sky combat power value was 153, and he was a level 9. When did the Red Pupil pirate gang have a level 9 member? Was he a new recruit? Seeing the man completely ignore him, Lu Xing's anger reached its peak. He was determined to beat the crap out of him. However, as a golden energy surged around Lu Xing, the captain was amazed to see the number in his glasses jump to 1,000. Interesting. No wonder Red Pupil took a liking to him. The next moment, Lu Xing's aura continued to surge. The big-haired captain was stunned because Lu Xing's starry sky combat power had exceeded 10,000, and it was still rising. It's at 50,000. 2.5 seconds later, it rose past 90,000 and the glasses shattered. What? System error. It was the first time the big-haired captain had experienced a reading going off the charts. From the system error, it was clear that the opponent's combat power had surpassed the measurement limit of 100,000. Before he could think, Lu Xing was already in front of him, fist raised. The captain was still in a panic from the explosive reading. No, this guy has over 100,000 combat power. I can't take this punch head on. Lu Xing's body was like a celestial furnace as he unleashed the ancient 5th season fist technique. You old bastard, you wrecked my ship. You have to compensate me. A giant fiery fist descended. The captain drew his blade to counter. In an instant, two powerful forces collided and expanded in space. The captain never expected that he would need his full strength to block a single move from a mere level 9. You starry sky vermin, you all deserve to die. As he spoke, a strange, pale blue energy enveloped the captain. He was determined to slaughter all these pirates here. The next moment, a large number of blue star stones gathered above his head. This was his signature move, Star Limit. He wanted to kill Lu Xing in one blow, giving him no chance to breathe. A massive blast shot towards Lu Xing. The blow pushed Lu Xing back 2.5 steps. Lu Xing could feel that this big-haired guy was a true level 11 expert, the strongest opponent he had faced so far. But so what? Even if he's a level 11 expert, he has to pay for wrecking someone's property without reason. With a glint in his eye, Lu Xing entered his martial god state. His entire body's power surged again. The big-haired man realized something was wrong. Is this the power a level 9 should have? He has a transcendent life physique, and a very high level one at that. Before he could think further, the martial god state Lu Xing was upon him again. The big-haired man raised his blade to block. Damn pirate, how can he be so strong? The next moment, a red and a blue energy clashed again in the vacuum of space. Meanwhile, on the other side, a spaceship was slowly approaching the Azure planet. Lanche and his companion had finally arrived after a long journey. He swore that when he got back, he would definitely get a level 11 spaceship. The spaceship dealer on Z34548, Wei Xin, owed him a favor from 82 years ago. It should be cheaper. His teammate mentioned that their White Mist Star Zone's law enforcement officer hadn't arrived yet, but the Yamo Star Zone's officer seemed to be here. Hearing this, Lanche was overjoyed. That's great. Lu Xing is saved. As they flew closer, Lanche saw the maple leaf patterned ship parked nearby. He confirmed it belonged to the Yamo Star Zone's law enforcement officer. Lanche sighed in awe. He probably couldn't afford this level 12 ship even if he worked his whole life and called in all his favors. His teammate joked, if you break through to level 11 and get elected as a law enforcement officer, you could have one too, maybe even a more luxurious one. Ha. But for Lanche, that was harder than winning the lottery. The next moment, a scene in front of them stunned them both. The energy spilling from the battle in the distance made their ship shake. They could clearly feel that this energy belonged to a level 11 expert. However, the ship's sensors had already detected the wreckage of Red Pupil's ship ahead. The ship was destroyed. It seemed Red Pupil had really fallen this time. In the distance, Lu Xing and the officer were like beams of light, zipping through space. They had already fought for dozens of rounds. Lu Xing was having the time of his life. Lan Chen's teammate recognized the one in the silver combat suit as the law enforcement officer from the Yamu Star Zone, but he didn't know who the other person fighting him was. But he's strong. His power is almost on par with the law enforcement officer, even suppressing him at times. Terrifying. Could he also be a member of Red Pupil's gang? The law enforcement officer was getting angry. He held his blade horizontally, preparing a big move. He was about to uncover his right eye, but before he could unleash his ultimate move, Lu Xing grabbed his head and rained punches on his chest. Pain, so much pain. The law enforcement officer's eyes rolled back, and he was in so much pain he shat himself. Seeing this, Lu Xing slowly sighed. He turned to look at Lanche and his companion in the distance. The next moment, Lanche was so shocked he shat himself too. Holy crap! Lanche felt like he was dreaming. He slapped himself hard. His teammate asked what he was doing. Lanche asked his teammate to slap him too. He seriously suspected he was still dreaming. The next moment, his teammate sent a punch flying at his head. Lanche flew back several meters and crashed into the ship. Damn it, Xiaolin, you bastard. Are you trying to kill me? Xiaolin shrugged. You told me to hit you. To be honest, I've never heard such a request in my life. Lanche suspected he did it on purpose, even using a level 10 martial art, but he couldn't be bothered with these details now. He pointed ahead and said, if I told you that the person fighting the law enforcement officer right now is Lu Xing, would you believe me? Hearing this, Xiaolin was so scared his diaper got wet. So infuriating, so infuriating. The captain was so angry he shat himself. A Star Zone law enforcement officer. When had he ever suffered such humiliation? He was about to get serious. The captain roared, this entire starry sky will be buried with you. As he spoke, a bone-chilling aura erupted from him, as if the entire space would turn to ruins in the next second. However, Lu Xing's expression was one of excitement. Looks like I can have some more fun. But just then, his two team members rushed over, shouting that it was a mistake. One member came to calm Lu Xing down and explain the misunderstanding. The other went to tell the captain that Lu Xing was a native of the nearby Azure planet, not a pirate. The captain was skeptical, but his team members said the verification was clear. Still, he couldn't believe the young man before him, Lu Xing, was really a native of the Azure planet. A native born on a low-level resource planet actually possessed a super top-tier transcendent life physique that was comparable to a level 11 at just level 9. What was most infuriating was that he had also mastered 2 paths of rules, but the captain thought about it differently. This wasn't a person anymore. He was a super starry sky sky treasure that had never been discovered or mined by anyone. He was more precious than 100 life planets. With that, the captain's face immediately switched to a smile as he politely introduced himself to Lu Sheng. I am Faland, a law enforcement officer from the Yamu Star Zone's law department. It's a pleasure to meet you. Hearing this, Lu Sheng responded dismissively. The conflict might be resolved, but don't think you don't have to pay for that ship. That was my prize. So they were here to catch those pirates. That makes Fal something like a police chief. My actions just now could be considered assaulting an officer, but you can't blame me. Who knew who they were? I'm just a simple man from a remote planet, trying to protect my home and get rich through hard work. Ignorance is no crime. Still, Lu Sheng never thought he'd be the country bumpkin one day. The captain said that Lu Sheng had provided immense help and contribution to their Yamu Star Zone's operation to capture the Red Pupil pirate gang. He would report it truthfully to the Yamu Star Zone Federation and get the biggest reward for Lu Sheng. The next moment, he grinned slyly. He needed Lu Sheng to accompany them to the Yamu Star Zone's federal main star to claim the reward. As he spoke, he glanced at Lanche and his companion who were approaching. From here, the Yamu Star Zone was about 500 light years away. It would be a 1 or 2 month round trip on the Silver Bird. I have to go in person to get a reward. Lu Sheng was clearly reluctant, but the captain said the reward would be worth at least 10 times more than the Demon Claw, the pirate ship. This got Lu Sheng excited, and he quickly asked when they were leaving. Meanwhile, Lanche and his companion were happy to see them stop fighting. Now he just needed to bring Lu Sheng back to the White Mist Star Zone, and it would surely cause a sensation. As the discoverers, they would definitely receive a handsome reward, and might even get an audience with the Star Zone's council chairman. However, Zhao Lin told him not to daydream just yet. The current situation was probably not optimistic. Lanche didn't understand what he meant. After all, Lu Sheng was a level 9 comparable to a level 11. Zhao Lin explained that it wasn't about doubting Lu Sheng's talent. But whether the two of them had the ability to bring Lu Sheng back to the White Mist Star Zone. If they could see Lu Sheng's transcendent talent, how could the Yamu law enforcement officer not see it? They would certainly not let a seedling like Lu Sheng go so easily. So infuriating. Lanche was so angry he shat himself. Even though the other party was a law enforcement officer, Lu Sheng was under the jurisdiction of their White Mist Star Zone. However, Zhao Lin's next words struck Lanche like a thunderbolt. They had completely forgotten to register Lu Sheng's legal Starry Sky resident identity. Although Lu Sheng belonged to the White Mist Star Zone, to the wider Starry Sky, he was a blank slate. As long as the Yamu law enforcement officer took him to the Yamu Star Zone to register first, Lu Sheng would naturally become a citizen of the Yamu Star Zone. As they spoke, Lanche sensed several presences approaching. Soon, several figures surrounded the two of them. Congratulations, you guessed right. Lord Fal has an order. We need your cooperation to come to the Yamu Star Zone's law enforcement department to give a statement for the Red Pupil pirate gang capture operation. Lanche asked if they could contact the White Mist Star Zone's law enforcement officer. The man approached with oppressive force and a faint smile. What do you think? The next moment, the people behind them launched a sneak attack, knocking them out and taking them away. They also confiscated all their communication devices and locked them up on the ship. Zhao Lin, struggling, whispered, "Do you know this will cause a war between the two star zones?" But the masked man responded dismissively, "Perhaps, but I think Lord Fal made an extremely wise decision. You can't imagine how the council members of the White Mist Star Zone will react when they find out that a genius, who is very likely a Sun Glory level transcendent life physique, was snatched by another star zone." Zhao Lin could only lower his head in despair. Meanwhile, in the White Mist Star Zone, aboard the Blue Dove, a middle-aged man was savoring fine wine. The poisonous tumor that was the Red Pupil pirate gang, which had plagued 4 star zones, had finally been captured. He could now report to his superiors. More importantly, Fal from the Yamu Star Zone had just sent a message, willingly offering them a third of the credit. The only condition was to take 2 of their law enforcement officers back to give a statement. Is that even a condition? The man felt like he had hit the jackpot. But as Fal had a change of heart, why would he be so generous? I remember last time, he fought with the Black Tau Star Zone's law enforcement department over some credit. Whatever. It's not bad to get free credit. Why worry so much? The next moment, a pair of slender feet walked over. The newcomer was a pink-haired girl. She reported that a mid-level officer named Zhao Lin had requested to see him, claiming to have extremely important matters to report. The law enforcement officer told her to send Zhao Lin in, but the girl said, "Zhao Lin is the one who was taken by law enforcement officer Fal to give a statement. We can't contact him now. Also, one more thing. Counselor Ji Ziming has invited you to his children's 1-year-old birthday banquet. It's tonight." Hearing this, the law enforcement officer took it very seriously and told the girl to activate the blue bridge and proceed at full speed. Good news kept coming. He felt that today was truly a good day. Just now, the Yamu Star Zone law enforcement officer invited Lu Sheng to the main star to receive his reward, but Lu Sheng needed to return to Earth to handle some matters before following law enforcement officer Fal to the Yamu Star Zone, 500 light years away. At this moment, the spaceship was monitoring Lu Sheng's movements. At this critical juncture, Fal couldn't afford any mistakes. He ordered his men to activate all the ship's monitoring systems systems and keep a close eye on Lu Shing on Azure Planet A28462 24 hours a day, without interruption. Don't let Lu Shing out of our sight for even a second. Also, keep an eye on the White Mist Star Zone. We've temporarily fooled them, but we can't relax our guard. If there's any movement from their side, notify me immediately. Yes, sir. And keep those two under tight watch. Everyone, stay alert. As long as Lu Shing comes back with us and gets his Yamu Star Zone identity registered. This will be a great achievement. A few seconds later, Lu Shing returned to his home in the residential complex. The scene around him amazed him. My goodness, there are at least 40 Grandmasters in this complex, over 20 level 8 Great Grandmasters, and 2 Martial Saints, all disguised and watching the surroundings. This must be the most powerful residential complex on the Azure Planet. They must be here to protect my family. That's not bad. Lu Shing pushed open the door to his home. I'm back. It's been a while. As soon as she saw him, his sister Shing excitedly rushed up and hugged him. You're the god of war, aren't you? I knew it. Lu Shing's parents also eagerly asked what had happened, telling him to just say it. They could handle it. Looking at their expectant faces, Lu Shing was at a loss for words for a moment. Alright, since it has come to this, I won't hide it from you anymore. The thing is, I am actually the Super Scion Prince of Soul Society. When I was 3, my home was invaded and destroyed by the enemy, Straw Hat Luffy. To seek refuge, I was reincarnated on this planet and chose you as my family. Now, my martial arts talent has fully awakened. I am about to return to Soul Society to rebuild everything and reclaim the glory of the Super Scions. However, I still need a little money for travel expenses. Could you each transfer me 5,000? When I succeed in my revenge, I will make you the village chiefs of this planet. The 3 of them were speechless. When did this guy become such a smooth talker? The next moment, Lu Shing burst out laughing. Just kidding. Does it matter if I'm the god of war? I'm still your son. Let's eat first. I'm starving. During the meal, Lu Shing explained his experiences over the past few years in detail to his family, and also vaguely mentioned his plans to go into outer space for a while. Shing touched Lu Shing in disbelief. My god, are you really my brother? The #1 martial artist in the world, stronger than a level 9 martial saint? My son is really the god of war. Honey, our ancestors' graves must be shooting lasers. His mother just told Lu Shing to be careful. After the meal, Lu Shing took Dong Qingxue to the Civil Affairs Bureau. He wanted to get their marriage certificate before leaving the Azure Planet. This would give Dong Qingxue some security. Although he was currently the strongest on the planet, and it didn't matter whether he got the certificate or not, the romantic details were still necessary. After all, women like this kind of thing. Today is a good day. From today on, Lu Shing is a married man. It is also the day he officially steps into the starry sky. Lu Shing will be back as soon as possible. When they meet again, they will have a formal wedding. As he spoke, Dong Qingxue leaned into Lu Shing's embrace, full of affection. The next moment, Lu Shing pulled a communicator out of his pants and gave it to his wife. It was the latest model Fal had given him, said to have a battery that could last for several years. We'll use this to call each other later. With that, Lu Shing leaped into the sky. Dong Qingxue became a wife waiting for her husband to return every day. Soon, Lu Shing returned to the Silver Bird. Fal had been waiting anxiously and was relieved to see him back. Fal took Lu Shing into the city inside the ship. He couldn't see that the internal space was so large. It was truly science fiction come to life. Soon, the two arrived at a small tavern to have a drink. Fal wanted Lu Shing to try the specialty of his home planet, sea buckthorn wine. Because seeing you, Lu Shing, is like seeing myself when I first left my home planet. Lu Shing was shocked. He never expected Fal, a law enforcement officer, to have also come from a low resource star. Fal drank it all in one go. My home was much worse than a resource star. It was a level 4 battlefield star, which was reduced to ashes in the flames of war more than 3,000 years ago. Seeing Lu Shing's sympathetic expression, Fal said it didn't matter. After all, this is the inevitable fate of a planet that becomes a battlefield. I was lucky. Before it completely fell, the Yamu Star Zone started a citizen migration plan. A migration plan? Isn't that what Lu Shing wants? Fal continued. Not everyone can be relocated. You must be a registered federal citizen. The conditions are having no criminal record, a strength of level 9 or above, and a certain potential for development to be eligible for registration. Level 9 or above. The conditions are too harsh. Lu Shing asked, can you migrate on your own? Fal replied, you can, but all the life planets in the entire star zone are already registered. It doesn't matter if 1 or 2 people migrate, but a large-scale migration of more than 5,000 people requires permission from the Federation. Otherwise, you'll be arrested. Our law enforcement department sends over 10 billion starry sky nomads to battlefield stars and resource stars as laborers every year. It's domineering, but it's necessary to maintain the orderly prosperity of all life races in the universe. If a life planet is destroyed and they go to seize another planet, imagine if all planets did that. The universe would be in chaos, falling into madness and disorder. Lu Shing thought for a moment and asked, how much does it cost to buy a life planet? Fal was puzzled. The exotic beast invasion on the Azure Planet has just begun. There's no hurry. However, a low-level life planet only costs a few 100 million black crystal coins. A slightly higher level one would be over 1 billion. By higher level, I mean a planet that can produce level 9 or above martial arts experts. After all, if a planet can't even produce a level 9 expert, it's not not far from destruction. However, he said, for you, Lu Sheng, this is very easy to achieve. Your potential is very strong. Once you reach level 11, you can become a starry sky noble. Then you will have your own large fief of planets without spending any money. Of course, there are annual tax requirements you have to pay out of your own pocket, but for a powerful person, this is a negligible amount. It seems my perspective was too small. Now my migration plan has a direction. With Fal's explanation, Lu Sheng got a general understanding of the starry sky universe. During the long wait, Lu Sheng once again entered the dream space to cultivate. Unlike before, Lu Sheng had a huge amount of high-density energy crystals to consume on the silver bird. Therefore, he quickly reached 10,000 immortal cells and doubled his vital energy and blood. This almost scared Fal to death. Lu Sheng had spent tens of millions of his black crystals in just 1 month. He was truly the most talented martial artist he had seen in 4,000 years. He was very much looking forward to how far Lu Sheng could go in the future. With that, he ordered his men to continue giving Lu Sheng more black crystals until he was satisfied. At this moment, in Lu Sheng's seed space, a minotaur with a battle axe stood atop a red moon. As the minotaur raised its great axe and chopped down, a series of super fast slashes cut Lu Sheng in half. It even split the entire planet behind him. Lu Sheng's death in the dream woke him up abruptly. Killed me in one hit. Minotaur Salus. The name means god of imperial wind. He's supposed to be a speed type, so why is his strength so immense? His current goal was to defeat the level 12 Salus before arriving at the Yamu Star Zone. Finally, after several days of hard cultivation, on the day before arriving at the Yamu Star Zone, Lu Sheng finally defeated the level 12 Salus. After absorbing the origin power from the new planet, his strength had increased by at least 3 times. Soon, the ship docked at the Yamu Star Zone Federation's gathering point. Welcome, Lu Sheng, said Fal. This is the core area of the Yamu Star Zone. The first thing I need to do now is take you to register your legal identity. Without registration, you're an undocumented person. You can't even buy a low-level nutrient meal here. You can't get anywhere. Lu Sheng, feeling a bit sleepy, thanked Fal for his help. Fal smiled back. No problem. I'm the one who brought you here. Lu Sheng felt like Fal was looking at him with a gotcha expression, but there didn't seem to be any malice. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Ever since I defeated Salus, killing Fal would be as easy as a thought. Soon, under guidance, Lu Sheng entered the official building to handle his identity registration. The staff member respectfully handed the registered ID card to Lu Sheng. After all, Lu Sheng was brought here personally by Fal. The identity information still registered Lu Sheng's strength as only level 9. But why am I a third-class citizen right away? I remember Fal saying that citizenship starts from the first class. The staff member explained, a citizen's level is linked to their strength, talent, assets, and connections. Wow, just a recommendation gets me to the 3rd class. I'm not far from being a starry sky noble then. The ID card also contained 10 million black crystal coins gifted by Fal. Lu Sheng could use it in any place with starry sky citizens. Is Fal a tycoon? Lu Sheng remembered confiscating only a few 100,000 from Red Pupil and his crew, but perhaps they had stored their funds on some ID card. At this moment, a subordinate led Lu Sheng into a luxurious private room to eat first. Fal, however, had eagerly gone to consult with his superiors. Since that was the case, he really needed to try the food of this new place. The taste is really good. This bracelet was the one confiscated from Red Pupil. He could check if there was any ID card with funds inside. Just as Lu Sheng was eating his 99th bun, he bit down on something hard, like a stone. This angered Lu Sheng, and he spat it out. What is this thing? It's so hard it almost broke my tooth. A closer look revealed it was a starry sky cockroach. If it had been an ordinary stone, Lu Sheng would have crushed it to powder. The next moment, Lu Sheng's heart skipped a beat. He was a bit dazed because, in the previous second, his 10,001st immortal cell had been born. The protein in this cockroach was so high, he picked it up and put it back in his mouth, chewing on it. Tastes like chicken, crispy. After the cockroach was down, a girl's voice from outside the door shouted Bobby. Seeing a red-haired girl trying to force her way in, 2 subordinates quickly stopped her. Miss Chow Chow, this is our high-class VIP area. You can't trespass. You're making things difficult for us. Am I not your VIP? I saw Bobby come in here. He must be inside. Get out of my way. Faced with the aggressive red-haired girl, the 2 subordinates couldn't stop her. The girl stepped on the table and shouted, it's him. He must have stolen my Bobby. I can smell Bobby's scent on him. Lu Sheng was confused. What's a Bobby? The girl patiently explained. My Bobby is a noble-blooded crystal-devouring insect. He's been my pet for over 10 years. He ran away and got lost today. Lu Sheng thought back to the scene just now and seemed to remember something. A crystal-devouring insect? Is it this big, round, yellow, with many tiny legs? Seeing Lu Sheng gesturing with his hands, the girl nodded excitedly, repeatedly asking Lu Sheng where her Bobby had gone. Gulp. Thinking about the food he had just swallowed, Lu Sheng felt very awkward. He pointed to his right. It flew onto my hand just now. I thought it was just a bug, so I flicked it away. I don't know where it went exactly. I think it was in that direction. This is so awkward. I hope she doesn't find out. Unexpectedly, the girl walked up and buried Lu Sheng's head in a hug. This really startled Lu Sheng. What the hell? Did she find out? Is she trying to suffocate me to death? This scared Lu Sheng so much that he immediately pushed the girl away. It turned out the girl's name was Chow Chow, and she just wanted to get to know him. Lu Shing was half convinced. Are people from the Yamo Star Zone all this open? Lu Shing cheerfully extended his hand and introduced himself. Qiao Qiao then hurried off in the direction Lu Shing had pointed. To thank Lu Shing, she said she would treat him to a meal after she found her Bobby. But what could Lu Shing do? He could only apologize. He was in such a hurry he hadn't finished chewing a leg. Qiao Qiao would probably never know that her beloved pet Bobby had been eaten by Lu Shing and had even helped him create 2 immortal cells. The hardness of the crystal-devouring insect was very special. Without a strength of level 11 or above, one couldn't even break its defense. Lu Shing didn't dare to tell the truth just now, mainly because he didn't know how to say it. He couldn't just say, "Your pet of over 10 years was eaten by me" as a snack, could he? That answer was too ridiculous. After the girl left, a waiter came up and apologized to Lu Shing. Lu Shing, not minding, asked the waiter about the girl's identity. She seemed quite unusual. The waiter said she was the only daughter of Count Sith. The Count doted on her, so she was afraid of nothing. A Count, the level 11 law enforcement officer Fal, is only a baron. A Count is 2 whole ranks above him. No wonder she can waltz into the city hall like it's her backyard. Good thing I didn't tell the truth. Who knows how valuable that insect was? The 10 million Fal gave me might not have been enough to cover it. As he was thinking, Fal came up behind him. Looks like the paperwork is all done. Let's go. Just as they left the building, Lu Shing asked Fal what a crystal-devouring insect was. Fal was curious. You just got here. How would you know about this? He explained. It's a rather magical life form. It has a gentle temperament, but its strength can reach level 10 or even level 11 upon adulthood. Many starry sky nobles like to buy one for their female relatives. It's a very popular pet in the noble ladies' circle. As for the price, it's quite expensive. The cheapest one costs several hundred million black crystal coins or more. Some with rare bloodlines are worth several life planets. Fal asked. Why do you ask? Lu Shing said he just happened to overhear someone talking about it. My god, a single one costs hundreds of millions? So I just ate several hundred million black crystal coins in 2 bites? I regret not chewing it a bit more. I really don't understand the prices of things for aliens. Damn. Meanwhile, inside the White Mist Star Zone's main star, the White Mist law enforcement officer was reporting on the Red Pupil pirate mission to his superior. The chief of law enforcement asked with suspicion, "You're saying there are no records of the capture of the Red Pupil pirate gang members? The written report is just a few perfunctory sentences?" The officer explained, "This is all the Yamo Star Zone sent over. I've been urging them to provide a more complete report, but for some reason, they keep stalling, saying they'll complete it later." Hearing this, the chief of law enforcement felt more and more that something was wrong. The Yamo Star Zone wouldn't give us credit for free. There must be something fishy going on. Contact the Yamo Star Zone's law enforcement department right now, in front of me. Tell them I want to see the complete file now. The officer immediately took out his device and called Fal. Fal's projection appeared above his watch. Isn't this law enforcement officer Schiller? Good afternoon. The chief of law enforcement, standing beside him, immediately asked sternly. It seems you're in a good mood, Fal. Fal gave a slight bow but didn't respond. The officer urged Fal to quickly send over the missing action report for the Red Pupil case. Fal knew he couldn't hide it any longer, but the matter was already settled, so he didn't care. He sent the files to the White Mist law enforcement and then unilaterally hung up. From his actions, the White Mist law enforcement could tell Fal was hiding something before he could guess what it was. The chief of law enforcement next to him exploded with anger. You're only realizing it now. The people from the Yamo Star Zone are full of schemes and tricks. He must be trying hard to hide something. You didn't go to the scene to check. You've definitely made a huge mistake this time. The mustached officer was so scared his diaper got wet. He had a feeling from the beginning that the people from the Yamo Star Zone couldn't be this kind. What a bunch of schemers. 2.5 seconds later, the email from Fal arrived. The chief of law enforcement eagerly told the mustached officer to open it. With a light tap, numerous videos featuring Lu Shing appeared. Look here, that's one of the members of the Red Pupil pirate gang, named EG. Level 10 strength. This person killed EG in an instant. Is he level 11? Is he a new law enforcement officer from the Yamo Star Zone? Why have I never seen him before? In this footage, he killed Red Pupil with 1 punch. He clearly has level 11 strength, but why is his fighting style so primitive? Tanking a ship's attack, and he's still using an avatar to fight at level 11? Strange. So strange. Who is this young man in the video? The White Mist officer then said that Fal had also sent a video clip. The anxious chief of law enforcement told him to open it quickly. The moment the officer played it, both of them were stunned. The video showed Lu Shing beating up Fal. As for why they were fighting, they had no idea. Even the chief of law enforcement didn't understand what this meant. What kind of data is this? The chief of law enforcement sat down, puzzled, but he soon seemed to understand something. The person fighting Fal is probably not from their Yamo Star Zone's law enforcement department. He's probably not even a person of the starry sky. Puzzled, law enforcement officer Schiller said there was a small file inside. Although the chief of law enforcement was already 70 to 80% sure, he still told Schiller to open it. If I'm not mistaken, this should be that young man's personal profile. The moment he said that, Lu Shing's profile window popped up. It detailed Lu Shing's identity, confirmed as a third-class citizen of the Yamo Star Zone. Note, originally from White Mist Star Zone's A28462 level 1 resource star. Current level is 9, but possesses strength comparable to level 11. Potential, estimated SSS transcendent life physique above Sun Glory level. Although the chief of law enforcement had already guessed, he never expected this Lu Shing to be so astonishing. Martial strength at level 9 with combat power comparable to level 11. A native of a level 1 resource star. Transcendent life physique, estimated above Sun Glory. SSS potential. How can these words even be combined? This sent the chief of law enforcement into a furious rage. You idiot! You must have been given a little credit and didn't check everything carefully. The reason Fal was so reluctant to hand over the data, and even took away the 2 White Mist Star Zone law enforcement officers on the grounds of recording their statements, was all to buy time to take this genius named Lu Shing back to the Yamo Star Zone before we found out. Law enforcement officer Schiller was so scared he was speechless, but he knew he was doomed. This genius originally belonged to their territory, yet he was snatched away right under their noses. So infuriating, so infuriating. The chief of law enforcement was so angry he shat himself. He picked up a teacup and threw it at Schiller. Schiller fell to his knees with a thud, his eyes wide with terror. He admitted his mistake and begged the chief for another chance. But a super genius like this, who knows how many years it will be before another one appears? He slipped through our fingers just like that. Where will there be a next chance? The more the chief of law enforcement thought about it, the angrier he got. He immediately stripped Schiller of his position as a law enforcement officer and told him to go home and raise pigs. Meanwhile, in the Yamo Star Zone's hotel, Fal had arranged for Lu Shing to stay here for a few days. You're very lucky. The Heavenly Throne Academy of our Yamo Star Zone is currently recruiting new students. I'll personally take you to test your potential, which is the level of your transcendent life physique. Lu Shing could see that Fal was in a very good mood. Fal laughed awkwardly. The reward for the red pupil case will also be issued in a few days. I'll take you to get it then. After giving instructions, the two waved goodbye. After turning around, Fal couldn't suppress the smile on his face. This was the most triumphant day of his life. Soon, Fal's watch rang. The caller was the chief of law enforcement of their Yamo Star Zone. He praised Fal for doing a great job this time and asked him to come to his office now. Fal felt that the peak of his career was about to arrive. He danced with joy. Lu Shing walked into the hotel. The various aliens aroused his curiosity. As he was looking around, a female voice called out to him from behind. He turned around to see a fox girl. She was the specialist assigned to receive him. She was now going to take him to his room. Looking at her swaying large assets and the fluffy tail behind her, Lu Shing's heart pounded. He had no resistance to such fluffy things. He immediately wanted to reach out and pet it. Unexpectedly, this made the fox girl misunderstand him for a playboy. She leaned in and said that their hotel also offered special services. Hearing this, Lu Shing replied earnestly that he did have a need right now. The girl pressed her chest against Lu Shing and told him to feel free to ask for anything and not be shy. Unexpectedly, Lu Shing pushed the girl away and said, I need to withdraw some cash, some black crystal blocks. I have 10 million in my card right now. I'll withdraw 1 million for cultivation first. The girl said, no problem. Then, she flicked her hair again and asked if Lu Shing needed any other personal services. Lu Shing, however, flew towards his room without looking back, leaving the fox girl stunned and alone. This room is quite unique, Lu Shing thought. He took out the cards from his pocket. I can't get any information from these citizen ID cards. Does the money become unretrievable after the person dies? That's a rip-off. There's also a pile of junk in the storage ring. I should sell it all and get some things I need, like a spaceship and high-level combat suit. I shouldn't delay. I'll go out tonight and check out the prices here. What if I'm actually a hidden cosmic tycoon? Lu Shing, with cash in hand, arrived at the Crossing Darkness spaceship dealership. Looking at the prices displayed, a small level 10 spaceship cost 80 million black crystal coins. What an absurd price. Lu Shing had guessed spaceships would be expensive, but he never expected them to be so expensive that he couldn't even afford a down payment. So I still have to deal with loans even in the starry sky. I knew the most valuable things in the Red Pupil pirate gang were those few spaceships. If the reward Fal gets for me isn't a few hundred million, I'm going to throw a fit. As he was thinking, a girl's voice called out to him from behind. He turned to see it was the girl who was looking for her insect. Lu Shing asked in alarm, what are you doing here? Did she find out he ate her insect? The girl waved her hand in response. What a coincidence. I'm here with my brother to buy a spaceship. Looks like you are too. Lu Shing said awkwardly that the spaceships here were too expensive. He also asked if she had found her pet. Speaking of her pet Bobby, the girl started complaining to Lu Shing again, sighing that its whereabouts were unknown. Meanwhile, in the VIP area, a yellow-haired man was selecting a spaceship. The salesperson was presenting, this is the best level 11 spaceship in our store. After discount, it's 700 million black crystal coins. Overall, the yellow-haired man was satisfied. He immediately told his subordinate to pay. After receiving the money, the salesperson happily said the spaceship would be delivered to the man's residence within the day. But the yellow-haired man said there was no need for delivery. Just give me the keys. This ship is a gift. Someone will come to pick it up. The specialist was stunned. A 700 million coin spaceship given away just like that. The wealth of the Sith family was truly profound, but he was even more curious about which big shot was worthy of such a generous gift from the young master of the Sith family. The yellow-haired man heard that the person person was a spaceship enthusiast. This latest black hole predator model should be to his liking. It's rare for that person to visit the Amostar zone. I have to seize this opportunity to get on his good side. If I can make this connection, it will be a great benefit not just for me, but for the entire Sith family. Just then, the yellow-haired man asked where his sister, the red-haired Xiao Qiao, had gone. After a subordinate whispered to him, the yellow-haired man instantly exploded with anger. Who is that person? Take me there. On the other side, Lu Shing was still trying his best to fool the little girl. Relax. Maybe Bobby just felt like going out to play. Maybe he'll come back on his own in a couple of days. Although Xiao Qiao wasn't hopeful, she could only wish for that. At the same time, Xiao Qiao asked Lu Shing if he was a newly joined citizen of the Starry Sky, since she had never seen him before. Lu Shing tried several times to end the conversation with Xiao Qiao and find a chance to leave, but Xiao Qiao always managed to continue the conversation, never giving him a suitable opportunity. It seemed like Xiao Qiao hadn't spoken to anyone in a long time, as she kept talking to Lu Shing non-stop. She probably doesn't have many real friends. She's really like Fiona. Both are delicate flowers from a greenhouse who have never experienced any storms. But compared to Fiona, her status is obviously much more noble. The more precious the flower, the fiercer the gardener who protects it. As they were talking, Lu Shing also felt someone angrily approaching him. The yellow-haired man interrupted their conversation. His sister looked at her brother in surprise, then excitedly prepared to introduce Lu Sheng. This is my brother, Milton. This is Lu Sheng, a friend I met recently. The yellow-haired brother said dotingly, I heard someone on the third floor talking about an unwanted golden crystal devouring insect. Maybe it's your Bobby. He then arranged for a subordinate to take his sister to the third floor to check. The innocent red-haired girl told Lu Sheng to stay here and chat with her brother for a while. She would be right back. But how could Lu Sheng not know her brother's intentions? Sure enough, after his sister left, his disgusted face was revealed. A country bumpkin from a low-level resource star. Just because you have some talent and latched onto a level 11 law enforcement officer, you think you can set your sights on our Sith family? Lu Sheng was utterly speechless. Why is this damned cliché plot happening again? The yellow-haired man looked down on Lu Sheng. You lowly life form, don't let me see you again. If I find out you meet with Xiao Qiao again, whether it's intentional or not, your backer, the law enforcement officer, and your lowly home planet will all disappear from the universe. Just as he was about to leave after his posturing, Lu Sheng told him to wait. But before he could finish his sentence, a salesperson stepped in and shooed him away. I'm sorry, sir. You have displeased our major client. You are no longer welcome here. Please leave. And so, Lu Sheng was respectfully shown out of the Crossing Darkness spaceship dealership. I expected it to be rough and harsh, but I didn't expect it to be so unreasonable. He even threatened me in the end. How long has it been since someone threatened me? Never mind. He probably thinks I'm one of the many people who approach Xiao Qiao with ulterior motives. It's understandable that he wants to protect his sister. Besides, I'm new here and shouldn't act rashly. Otherwise, just as he said, both Fal and the Azure planet will be in trouble. It's just being humiliated a bit, right? I am on a supreme mission to save a universe. How can I not endure such a small insult and grievance? Let the cold eyes of others be like floating clouds to me. I'll just laugh it off. But this guy is really annoying. The more I endure, the angrier I get. The more I step back, the more I feel I've lost. F***CK. I can't take it anymore. You dare to mess with my state of mind. At this moment, the yellow-haired man who had just insulted Lu Sheng was walking up to the third floor, only to be questioned by his younger sister. The red-haired girl had asked around and found that no one was discussing her Bobby. The yellow-haired man immediately chuckled and said he must have misheard. After all, eavesdropping was impolite. The sister asked why Lu Sheng hadn't come up. The yellow-haired man said he had some urgent business and had already left. As soon as he said that, the sister pouted and became angry. It was obvious she was very unhappy with what her brother had done. She knew it was her brother's doing all along. Seeing his sister angry, the yellow-haired man pretended to be magnanimous and said he would invite Lu Sheng to dinner next time he saw him. But the angry sister turned and went home without accepting his offer. He was surprisingly protective of his sister, not daring to let any strangers get close to her. He would even arrange for subordinates to escort her home, and their excuse was always that it was for her own good, thinking she would understand their actions when she grew up. After his sister left, the yellow-haired man again asked his subordinate when Lanche would arrive. The subordinate said Lanche would land at Pier 001 at around 3 p.m. tomorrow. This was the person the yellow-haired man was going to meet. He also wanted his sister to go with him tomorrow. He didn't care if Xiao Qiao was happy about it or not. He just thought he was doing what was best for his sister. If Xiao Qiao refused to go, he would use their father's name to force her to go. After all, the daughter of a starry sky count had been growing in a greenhouse for over 20 years. It was time for her to grow up. It was because she had met too few people. If she had met a top-tier life form like Lanche, she wouldn't be so easily interested in lowly creatures. The mention of Lu Sheng immediately made the yellow-haired man tremble with anger. That country bumpkin who appeared out of nowhere, thinking he can climb up our Sith family tree just because he has good looks. A chance encounter? Does he really think everyone is as naive and gullible as Xiao Qiao? Next time I see him, I'll definitely give that Lu Sheng a good beating. Just then, a tremor under his feet shocked the yellow-haired man. This place shouldn't have such a strong tremor. What was happening? The next moment, he was completely instantly stunned. A giant golden fist sent him flying. His bodyguard saw this and was so scared his diaper got wet. That punch just now had almost flattened the yellow-haired man. What was even more infuriating was that he was almost dead, yet he didn't even know who hit him. As the smoke cleared, a pair of size 48 feet slowly walked in. The attacker was a disguised Lu Sheng. "Milton, you raped my beloved pet, the pig-faced beast, and brutally killed her. I have come to avenge my star pet, the pig-faced beast. I will cut you into 1,000 pieces." The yellow-haired man was stunned by this, not understanding what Lu Sheng was talking about at all. Before the yellow-haired man could speak, another attack from Lu Sheng came at him. The bodyguard rushed out to block for the yellow-haired man, shouting for Lu Sheng to stop. "Do you know who you are attacking?" As soon as he finished speaking, the bodyguard's body exploded from the energy. This sight scared the yellow-haired man so much his diaper got wet. This was his personal bodyguard, with the strength of a peak level 11, yet he was killed in an instant. The next moment, Lu Sheng walked up to the yellow-haired man with his hands in his pockets. "I didn't think you had any skill. I'm here to seek revenge on Milton. Whoever stands in my way dies." Then, Lu Sheng slammed the yellow-haired man to the ground and began his Oscar-worthy performance. "Milton, you should have expected this day when you raped my pig-faced beast. Do you know how many years that pig-faced beast was with me? 250 years. A full 200 years. She was already an old sow. Why couldn't you leave her alone? Are you even a person of the starry sky?" The surrounding onlookers, hearing Lu Sheng's loud description, all gathered around. "A pig-faced beast. Holy crap, he won't even let a 250-year-old pig-faced beast go. Is this guy even human? He's Milton, the young master of the Sith family. I can't believe he has such a fetish. How disgusting. Spit. He looks so well dressed, but I never would have thought. This kind of animal should be sent to a garbage planet." The yellow-haired man tried to explain, but his throat was clamped tightly by Lu Sheng, and he couldn't get a word out. "When did I ever rape a 250-year-old sow? I can't die like this," so unclearly. Finally, 2 tears rolled down Lu Sheng's face. "Little piggy, may you rest in peace. I will kill this beast right now to avenge you. It's all over. Milton Nicholas, repent for your sins and endless pain and death." Hearing this, the yellow-haired man used all his strength to utter a few words, saying he had something to say. Lu Sheng, crying, said, "There's nothing more to say. Go down and accompany my piggy." "Wait, my name is Milton Sith, the Sith family, not Nicholas." As soon as he said that, Lu Sheng pretended to let go and put him down. What did you say? Say it again. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Louder. "Milton Sith. I am the son of Count Sith." "Milton Sith." Lu Sheng gestured with confusion. "Are you sure you're Milton Sith? Do you have any ID to prove it?" Soon, Milton's identity was confirmed with his ID card. Many ships were also flying over. Lu Sheng then laughed awkwardly. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I got the wrong person. I'm going to find the real Milton Nicholas to get my revenge. I'll treat you to dinner later." The misunderstanding was cleared. The yellow-haired man felt a sense of relief, having survived. This incident was too absurd. How could someone mistake him for another Milton and come for revenge? But now, the uninformed audience behind him was the problem. "Milton Sith, son of Count Sith. I've checked. It's him. The son of a count doing such a shameless thing. It's simply unimaginable. I've long heard that some upper-class nobles have very special hobbies. I never believed it, but I didn't expect it to be true." Just as the yellow-haired man was about to explain that he wasn't the Milton the other person was looking for, a large hand suddenly interrupted him. "Don't you dare try to argue. You are Milton. You just admitted it yourself. And you shouted so loudly. Everyone heard you. Kid, you were so loud. Were you afraid we couldn't hear you? You're so arrogant." At this moment, the yellow-haired man probably couldn't clear his name even if he jumped into the Yellow River. I didn't do it. It wasn't me." As the discussions grew louder, countless people were attracted by this piece of gossip. Lu Sheng smiled faintly and then removed his disguise. After all, this yellow-haired man was Qiao Qiao's brother, so he couldn't kill him. Messing with him a bit was fine, but the speed at which this news spread was more than double that of on Earth. In just a few minutes, major news outlets had already started reporting on it. Proving his innocence was impossible. The rumor had already spread. Revenge is a dish best served immediately. This was much more satisfying than just beating him up. Lu Sheng hummed a happy tune as he walked towards the dormitory. Over the next few days, Lu Sheng followed Fal to the Heavenly Throne Academy. The Heavenly Throne Academy was the highest institution of learning in each star zone, only recruiting the most talented martial arts geniuses. Once recruited, one could enjoy the best resources, treatment, and inheritance in the entire star zone. Each one's status was comparable to a starry sky noble with the rank of Viscount, because every graduate, at the very least, was level 11, and not an ordinary level 11 at that. Lu Sheng asked if Fal had also graduated from the Heavenly Throne Academy. Fal sighed and shook his head. "I wish. My aptitude wasn't outstanding enough. I wasn't accepted." The current chief of law enforcement, Lord Andre, did graduate from the Heavenly Throne Academy. He is only 5,000 years old and is now a level 12 expert. He pointed at Lu Sheng. "With your aptitude, passing the entrance test is no problem at all. If you perform well, you might even have the chance to go to the Heavenly Throne Academy headquarters in the main star zone of the Heavenly Snake Galaxy. That's where the real monsters of the starry sky gather. Geniuses from all races compete there. Ordinary geniuses would be crushed to dust. The Amo star zone is still too small. So small it's pathetic." This made Lu Sheng unable to resist completely. complaining. Pathetic. It's so small that I can't even afford a spaceship for travel within the star zone. But Fal continued gravely. The Heavenly Throne Academy normally recruits once every 1,000 years. The last recruitment was 300 years ago. If we followed the usual schedule, Shing would have to wait another 700 years. But we're lucky. We ran into a big shot who was borrowing the Heavenly Throne Academy's bloodline star plate to test his aptitude. Thanks to him, everyone can be tested together. As long as your aptitude meets the standard, you can be admitted exceptionally, shortening the wait by 700 years. Whose face is so big? Fal explained. This person is the son of Starry Sky Marquis Lanche. Their family is a level 13 powerhouse, famous throughout 10 star zones. Since the Lanche family originally started in our Yamu star zone, and they are the most outstanding geniuses our star zone has produced in over 50,000 years, Marquis Lanche has always been nostalgic. Therefore, all his descendants returned to the Yamu star zone to participate in the aptitude test. His second son, Lanche, tested as a Radiant Moon 5-star Transcendent Life physique before. This time, he probably has a new breakthrough and is preparing to aim for the Sun Glory level. Normally, physique is fixed and difficult to break through, but it's not impossible. After all, a level 13 expert, if willing to put in the effort, can completely make his descendants have physiques comparable to his. For example, all his descendants could be new humans with genetically modified templates. Shing was stunned. You can even cheat like this and modify your descendants? Fal said that some powerful martial artists could indeed do it, but this method of nurturing is ultimately an artificial product imitating nature. Achieving 70%, no, half is already remarkable. Transcendent physique is the most wonderful and mysterious existence in this universe. A naturally born transcendent physique like yours, Shing, is an extremely precious blueprint material. Fal even dared to bet with Shing that after the test, countless starry sky nobles would be eager to marry their daughters to him. Shing would instantly become the most sought-after bachelor in this star zone. Hearing this, Shing waved his hands awkwardly. Haha, Fal, if you have a daughter, I might consider it for the sake of our friendship. Unexpectedly, this joking refusal made Fal overjoyed. Fal asked excitedly, really? I have a whole bunch of descendants now. Seeing Fal's serious expression, Shing was scared and backed away, stating that he already had a wife. But Fal said that for an expert of Shing's level, one spouse was not enough. The strong should be surrounded by beauties. You plant your seed and you can leave. It's their good fortune. Hearing this, Shing's face turned red. I'm a good man. I can't do that. Just then, Fal pulled a photo out of his pants. Have you seen this person recently? Shing said he didn't recognize him. Good thing I used my spiritual power to change my appearance in others' eyes back then. But this picture is too ugly. Fal said this person was wanted by the Sith family. They had been looking for him. They say he made Milton lose all face. Shing grumbled. He deserved it. If it weren't for my acquaintance with his sister, I would have beaten the piss out of him on the spot. Fal thought Shing had some small conflict with the Sith family before, but he didn't connect the two incidents. As they were talking, the ship arrived at the Stargate. This place was truly magnificent. If the Yamu star zone fell during the exotic beast invasion, this gate would be their last line of defense. Shing asked, what is that giant, sun-like circular plate? Fal explained, that's the star fate plate for testing bloodline and transcendent physique level. It is said that when a legendary immortal bloodline appears, all the beads on the plate will light up with a light that shakes the starry sky, and an extremely incredible phenomenon will occur. Shing was a little curious about what kind of phenomenon it would be. Fal didn't actually know either. After all, since the birth of the Yamu star zone, this star fate plate has never been fully lit. Even the most powerful martial artist has only lit up less than half of it. 2.5 minutes later, they arrived in front of the giant star gate. At this moment, an old man holding a staff was standing in front of the gate. Fal said, he is the dean of the Yamu star zone's Heavenly Throne Academy, Lord Moyun. He is one of the few top experts in the entire star zone. Shing could tell he emitted the same aura as Salus. He was at least level 12, a genuine, living top-tier expert. He should be the one in charge of the test. The next moment, a huge, luxurious spaceship slowly descended from the sky. Fal said, that person has arrived. With a flash of blue light, two men slowly walked forward. They had an air of arrogance. That's a level 12 martial artist. His strength is on par with the dean of the Heavenly Throne Academy. To have a level 12 expert as a guard, the foundation of a starry sky Marquis family, is truly extraordinary. As soon as they met, Lanche greeted the dean. Dean Moyun, my father asked me to send his regards. I appreciate Marquis Lanche's concern. Actually, the opening of the star fate plate this time is not just because of you. Lanche was puzzled. Could it be that there is a martial artist in the field that you have expectations for? But the dean didn't answer and directly announced the start of the assessment. Everyone, you've come at a good time. The once in a millennium star fate plate aptitude test has officially begun. Please come forward quickly. The dean stroked his beard, very curious about the genius the chief of law enforcement had mentioned. What kind of surprise will this bring him? The first to step up was a bald slave. His Baron Master, standing nearby, told him not to be nervous, promising him freedom and the chance to become a true starry sky noble if he performed well. Shing could tell from the tattoo on the man's back that he was indeed a slave. Fal explained that many hereditary starry sky nobles, facing a power gap gap after reaching level 11, fear losing their titles due to insufficient strength. To prevent this, they scour various channels for martial arts talent, most commonly the Starry Sky slave market, where martial arts prospects with good potential can occasionally be found. After all, not everyone can control their own destiny like Lu Sheng. Those desperate to maintain their noble status will do anything to control a powerful martial artist. Lu Sheng wondered why they didn't just recruit from their own territories. Fal laughed, saying Lu Sheng was overthinking it. Hoping to find a top-tier genius in one's own backyard was less likely than winning the grand prize in the Starry Sky lottery. Though, Fal mused, he himself had discovered Lu Sheng in the White Mist Star Zone and brought him back, which felt exactly like winning the cosmic jackpot. Soon, the bald slave stood before the star fate plate. Cutting his palm, he infused his blood into the plate for analysis. However, the plate only lit up with a single, normal white star. Confused, he wondered if that was all. From below, the Baron roared at him to push the plate with all his might, as much as he could. The slave immediately complied, straining with every fiber of his being, yet the massive plate didn't move an inch. Before the colossal disc, a human was as small as an ant. At the last moment, with his veins bulging and after summoning a massive martial avatar, the plate finally began to tremble slightly. Despite being only level 9, his avatar was an impressive 7,000 meters tall, comparable to the level 10 EG's 8,000 meter avatar, indicating decent potential. However, this level of talent failed to capture anyone's attention. As the plate turned, the stars above finally began to light up. Yes, this is great, the Baron exclaimed, so thrilled he could have shit himself. But soon, the slave's energy was depleted, and the test ended with 2 stars lit. Lu Sheng found it interesting that pushing the plate could completely exhaust a level 9 martial artist's power. The dean announced the result: 2 white stars lit. Physique, Transcendent Life Physique, 2 star. Does not meet the admission standard. Hearing this, the slave was so terrified he nearly shat himself. Failing meant returning to that world of darkness. Before he could process it, his master cursed, furious at being deceived by the seller who had guaranteed a potential of at least 5 stars. One by one, more people stepped forward to be tested, but Lu Sheng wasn't in a hurry. Through observation and questioning Fal, he had figured out the star fate plate's evaluation criteria. The moment blood was applied, the transcendent physique level was determined: white light for transcendent grade, blue for morning star, yellow for radiant moon, and crimson for the highest grade, sun glory. So far, the highest anyone had reached was morning star, with most falling far short of the standard. Only a few who reached morning star drew some notice, but none had earned the dean's approval. Now, a blue-haired man took his turn. As he unleashed his full power, the stars shone with a brilliant light and the plate began to spin rapidly. Soon, 7 stars were lit. This finally prompted the dean to speak for the first time. The blue-haired man's result was blue light, morning star 7 star, which met the Academy's admission standard. An uproar went through the crowd below. An old man with his daughter laughed heartily. Ha, well done, Farron. I knew I wasn't wrong about you. From now on, no one will stand between you and Lilith. I'll arrange your wedding immediately when we get back. Lilith, go to your husband. Just as the girl started to explain her past behavior, the man walked past her without a glance. The blue-haired man told her not to say another word, stating that they were not suitable for each other. This shocked the Viscount and his daughter standing behind them. The girl, with tears welling in her eyes, asked why, then turned and furiously pounded on her father, screaming, "You old bastard, this is all your fault. If it weren't for you back then, it was a classic tale. You looked down on me then, and now you can't reach me." Fal remarked to Lu Sheng that this was the risk of nurturing talent found in one's own territory. You spend vast amounts of energy and resources cultivating a genius, only for them to turn their back on you once they become famous. Therefore, when investing in a person, one must consider not just their talent, but also their character. Lu Sheng could see that the old Viscount had treated his daughter like a commodity and a bargaining chip, so it was only natural that he ended up losing both his investment and his daughter. He then asked about his own character. Fal laughed heartily in response. A man who takes time every day to chat with his ordinary family 500 light years away can't be a bad person. I hear this is a traditional moral value for people from your dragon country. It's very good. As they spoke, it was Lanche's turn to take the stage. Everyone knew this test was really for him. The dean told him to use his full strength. Lanche closed his eyes, and veins instantly bulged on his face. When he opened them, an insignia appeared on his forehead. Under everyone's watchful gaze, Lanche poured his energy into the star fate plate. Nearly everyone knew this test was specifically for Lanche, as the heir to the noble bloodline of the level 13 powerhouse Marquis Lanois. What kind of physique did he possess? Soon, a golden yellow light began to emanate. The crowd was shocked. It was radiant moon grade. The dean acknowledged that the boy was indeed extraordinary. Just then, Lanche's massive martial avatar materialized, its form dwarfing the star fate plate several times over. Even Fal was astonished that Lanche's avatar could reach a height of 50,000 meters, and it seemed to still be growing, reaching 80,000 meters. An 80,000 meter martial avatar? Isn't Lord Lanche only level 10? Even a level 11 might not be able to achieve this, someone exclaimed. The onlookers became instant fans, shouting, "Lanche is mighty." Even the dean remarked on Lanche's great progress, Seeing that he was determined to push for the Sun Glory grade, Fal watched with a grave expression, realizing that Marquis Lanche must have personally adjusted his genetic sequence for him to reach this new height. This method of external genetic manipulation was something Lu Shing hadn't expected. As his avatar advanced, Lanche extended his left hand to command it. The avatar pushed with immense force, and several golden dragon-like energies coiled around Lanche. The plate began to spin, lighting up one star after another. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Lanche was so fierce he nearly shat himself with effort. The crowd was blinded by the light of 7 stars, but Lanche was clearly not satisfied. The stalled stars lit up once more, finally stopping at Radiant Moon 9 star. This result made the Dean so happy he nearly shat himself, exclaiming that he hadn't seen a Radiant Moon 9 star in thousands of years. Fal was also stunned, noting that 9 stars was the absolute limit of a transcendent physique, and the difference between Radiant Moon and Morning Star was like that of an elephant to an ant, let alone a 9-star gap. Yet Lanche's eyes showed he was still not content. Mustering every last bit of strength, he roared, "Open for me!" In an instant, the starlight dimmed, and a crimson glow emerged. In less than half a second, the light burst forth, a sign of physique advancement. This light, Sun Glory. It's a Sun Glory level transcendent life physique. Lanche had broken through his own limits to reach 1-star Sun Glory. As the light faded, Lanche closed all 3 of his eyes, now too exhausted to even keep them open, and collapsed. A bodyguard quickly appeared to support him, congratulating him and saying his father would be proud. The bodyguard lamented that only powerful bloodlines and genes could lead to greater martial arts achievements, a gulf that was impossible for non-family members like him to cross. Lanche had not only pushed his bloodline to its limit but had also achieved a breakthrough to Sun Glory on the spot. The other martial artists in the audience lowered their heads in disappointment, feeling they could only ever look up to those with deep family foundations. The Dean approached, patting Lanche on the shoulder. "Well done, Lanche. Your father has finally gotten his wish." The news of Lanche becoming a Sun Glory genius spread like wildfire, alarming the highest echelons of the Yamo Star Zone and prompting a meeting in the Federation Council. "The test results for the Marquis' little one are out. Sun Glory grade," one counselor said. "A pity he isn't from our star zone," another sighed. Just as they were planning a celebration for Marquis Lanche's nephew, a voice interrupted. It was a beautiful woman. "Wait a moment, counselor," she said with a smile. "I have a surprise for you. Please wait and see. It should be his turn soon." A genius named Lu Shing, whom my subordinate Fal specially poached from the White Mist Star Zone. He is now one of ours. A genius from the White Mist Zone, the old counselor asked. To what level? The woman admitted she didn't know for sure, but he shouldn't be any worse than Lanche. If Fal wasn't exaggerating, he should be at least Sun Glory grade. Hearing this, the old man broke into a cold sweat. "What did you say?" "It's been years since our Yamo Star Zone has produced a Sun Glory genius. Quick, let's go to the testing site immediately." Back at the site, Fal received a notification that the leadership was on their way and told Lu Shing it was time for him to go up. However, having witnessed Lanche's brilliance, the crowd had lost interest in the remaining participants, assuming the main event was over. But they didn't know that Lu Shing was also a Sun Glory level transcendent life physique, and in some ways superior, being a purely natural prodigy unlike the man-made ones. With the top brass on their way, now was the perfect time to make a statement. As Lu Shing approached, a man in the crowd wondered aloud, "Isn't that Fal? He was just ennobled as a baron less than 1,000 years ago. Why is he here? Who knows?" Another replied, "Maybe the young man he's with has potential, but who can compare to Lord Lanche? Let's go." Fal stopped behind Lu Shing, ready to witness his brilliance. Lu Shing reached out and touched the energy field, feeling his spiritual power being blocked by a mysterious force. No point in studying it, he thought, and with a swift motion, he cut his hand and placed it on the plate to begin the test. The moment Lu Shing's hand touched the Star Fate plate, his energy spread rapidly, turning the entire disc crimson, the color of the Sun Glory grade. The suddenness of it left Fal, standing behind him, utterly dumbfounded. But this was far from Lu Shing's full power. With a surge, a much stronger force erupted, forming a tangible energy that threatened to envelop the plate. The onlookers, snapping out of their daze, thought they were dreaming. Fal, knowing Lu Shing's capabilities, was the first to recover from his trembling shock. He began to dance with excitement. He is a Sun Glory grade, and not just any Sun Glory grade. He far surpasses Lanche. His shouts finally brought the crowd to their senses, though they remained clueless as to what was happening and who the handsome young man on the stage was. Even the Dean, who knew Lu Shing was a genius, had not anticipated something so outrageous. Lanche stared in disbelief. What kind of power could produce such a star-like radiance? This young man is incredible. He also reached Sun Glory grade, but mere Sun Glory was not Lu Shing's goal. In the next instant, a swirling dark purple energy emerged. He channeled both energies into the plate again, and with a roar of "fuck you," the space around him crackled with visionary phenomena. The combined energies formed a magnetic inferno, then shot up like a colossal pillar, piercing the heavens in front of the Star Fate plate. The crowd was so terrified they felt they could eat 500 pounds of shit, as Lu Shing's power seemed to warp space itself. One person pointed, and everyone saw a behemoth that represented an insurmountable gap they could never cross. Even Fal had to reevaluate Lu Shing. The martial avatar Lu Shing had manifested was a staggering 160,000 meters tall, twice the size of Fao's own superlative Flame Thunder avatar. Most importantly, Fao was a level 11, while Lu Shing's aura was only that of a level 9. At that moment, the bald dean was so shocked his hair fell out. In all his years, he had never seen a level 9 display such power. Lu Shing, meanwhile, casually propped himself up with one hand, thinking that while his avatar could grow larger, it would be harder to control. It was better to concentrate the power within his body. Clenching his fist, he prepared to break through another barrier. He slammed his hand on the plate and yelled, "Come on, spin for me." Veins bulged on his face as he exerted force, and the pillar of light on the plate began to wobble, then spin wildly. The sight made Lanche cough up 2 tons of blood. He couldn't believe it. He had needed 2 hands and all his strength to move the plate, yet this person was spinning it with one hand like a tire. Is this reasonable? Is this real? Where am I? Is this still the Amistar zone? The plate spun so fast it became a blur. Aboard their ship, the approaching leaders were rocked by the waves of power. The chief of law enforcement, who had thought Fal had merely found a talented individual, now realized he had discovered a prodigy as dazzling as the sun. Looking at the monitor, the old man's jaw dropped. Sun Glory. 9-star? No, the pinnacle of Sun Glory. And it's far beyond the pinnacle. Ha ha ha. He laughed, ordering the captain to proceed at full speed, eager to meet this genius. Lu Shing noticed that no matter how fast he spun the plate, the limit seemed to be Sun Glory 9-star, which didn't satisfy him. He was curious about what lay beyond, a level Fal had never mentioned. He decided to try, being careful not to break the plate. Divine Illumination Nether King Scripture. Full power, vitality and blood buff. Activate. Hold on for me, you little plate, he commanded. With the scripture's power, the plate's rotation speed increased 100-fold. Lanche could only sigh in despair. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Even in the main heavenly snake galaxy star zone, there are few beings above Sun Glory. How can he do it? Not satisfied with the pinnacle of Sun Glory, he was trying to reach beyond, which seemed excessive. The plate began to make grinding, mechanical sounds, as if signaling the end of the road. Lu Shing looked at the whitening plate with confusion. Was this truly his limit? I still have power left. My supreme stellar body is definitely more than just Sun Glory 9-star. Since it wasn't enough, he decided to push harder. In the next moment, Lu Shing's 10,000 immortal cells began to burn furiously, creating a dazzling golden light of another evolution.